What's up? Play Sports Gamer here, and I want to talk about the 49ers defense, or lack of. They hired Steve Wilks, and to be all honest, I was excited for Steve Wilks coming to the 49ers. After the 49ers lost D'Amico Ryans to the Houston Texans, he turned Carolina into a solid performing defense, and they don't have half the talent as the 49ers. So I thought coming to the 49ers, who's been one of the top defenses for the past 3 to 5 years, I thought they're going to be like the ultra dominant 1985 Bears, 2000 Baltimore Ravens type of defense. I was beyond excited. But what has he turned this defense into? He turned them into a non-pressure, soft secondary defense. He has no excuse not to perform well in this defense. So they're going to blame him being up in the booth for the problems that he can't figure out how to get this defense going. And the big part of this defense that is not performing is this defensive line. And I'm going to do a video on Nick Bosa because I am beyond frustrated with Nick Bosa. But that will be a later video. So we got an article here. 49ers defensive coordinator Steve Wilks moving from booth to field amid struggles. And there have been big time struggles. And I want to show you later the rankings for the 49ers defense this year and the past few years and show what a difference Steve Wilks is not doing for this defense this year. Amidst a surge of defensive struggles over the past 3 games, the San Francisco 49ers have been searching for answers to get back to the dominant unit that spearheaded a 5-0 start. The Niners made their biggest move last week, trading a compensatory third-round pick to the Washington Commanders for defensive end Chase Young. They're making another much smaller move this week in the form of an elevator ride. San Francisco defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, who's in his first year with the team, will move from the coach's booth upstairs to the field level to call Sunday's game against the Jacksonville Jaguars, Shanahan said on Wednesday. And let me just quickly show you this. I just want to show you the opponents for the 49ers in the first 5 weeks. Pittsburgh, yes, they were all like buzzing that Pittsburgh was going to be great from the preseason, but Pittsburgh really hasn't been doing anything. Pickett is not that great. The Rams, who we all seen, are horrible, but that game, Stafford was tearing up the 49ers secondary. Giants, Arizona, like I don't have to say anything about that. The only big win was Dallas in the first 5 games. That's their 5-0 start. So they say, oh, the defense was great in the first 5 games. They really didn't play that many teams. So we got Cleveland, Minnesota, and Cincinnati. Kirk Cousins tore apart the 49ers defense. Look at the stats. 35 of 45, 378 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the key number is no sacks. They didn't sack Kirk Cousins once. That is like, I bet any money, that's impossible. I bet I could look at all the Minnesota games and he was sacked at least once. He doesn't have movement. The offensive line for him is not that great, but he tore apart the 49ers. Joe Burrow, 28 for 32, 283 yards, 3 touchdowns. He gets sacked 3 times. But again, 4 incompletions the whole game. The main reason why teams get a lot of incompletions is pressure from the defensive line. And the 49ers, for some reason, they have so much money in the defensive line, they can't get pressure. I really don't want to go into Nick Bosa because I want to do a video on him. But he's been worth 1/10 of the money he's been getting for this year. And I will get into that in another video. I'll keep on repeating, but I will. So I just wanted to show you the schedule. The first 5 weeks, they really didn't play that many great teams. They played bad teams, except for Dallas, which they dominated. This makes me even like more upset that Steve Wilks can't create defensive pressure. This team has a boatload of talent on defense. They should be dominating. Even if their secondary is kind of weak, Steve Wilks should be coming up with schemes to get pressure on quarterbacks, and he has not. If you look at some of the gameplay, they even single up Nick Bosa. They're not even doubling him sometimes, and he still can't get pressure. So Shanahan says, we're going to put him on the field this week. Something we talked about for a little bit. There are pluses to it, there are minuses to it, but we'll see what we like about this week. The move comes after the 49ers' 3-game losing streak in which the defense has dropped from one of the best in the league to one of the worst. And you can't, like I said before, you can't really consider them one of the best because they really didn't play that many teams. Through the first 5 games, San Francisco Francisco was first in NFL in points allowed per game at 13.6, third in yards allowed, 266.8. Over the ensuing 3 weeks, the Niners dropped to 24th in points per game at 24, 30th in yards per game, 31st in defensive expected points added, and tied for 13th in takeaways. Not coincidentally, the Niners lost all 3 of those games. They struggled to stop the run and haven't consistently pressured or sacked the quarterback and have failed to tackle consistently. After a 31-17 loss to the Bengals, Fred Warner shrugged off the idea that the blame should fall at Wilks' feet for those issues, noting that the coordinator was the least of my worries, but acknowledging that there's still a learning curve for Wilks with the new team. I beg to differ, Fred Warner. Robert Saleh had a great defense, and DeMeco Ryans took over that defense and made them better. And Steve Wilks should have came in and made the defense even better than DeMeco Ryans, but he's made it a ton worse. Through 8 weeks, the game day process has been Wilks to relay the call from the booth to linebackers coach Johnny Holland on the sideline, then to pass it on to Warner on the field, then Warner shares with the team. Presumably, Wilks will now directly communicate the call to Warner since he's on the sideline, but either way, Warner thinks the move can only help. I think it will help too. Like, you're playing the telephone game, going from one person to another. It makes sense for him to be down there. The only sense it does for making him be in the booth is to have a top-down view of the field to see what's going on. You have a better view. But he should have been down on the field the whole time. I think it would be a flawless transition, whether it be him giving calls or staying with Johnny. Having him down there connecting with us in the field is going to be great. I think more so than anything, I think him just wanting to be down there as our leader of the group, just to be down there, make adjustments on the fly when need be. Just being down there, looking at us in the eye when we're down, just the little things that help. Yes, I totally agree with that. Communicating with the defense, yelling at your defense that they're not performing, yelling to get pressure. This, I think, will only help. So now I want to just show you stats for the defense. This is 2023. The 49ers are in the middle of the pack. And this, by the rankings, is yards per game. It doesn't tell the whole story, but it tells a good story of how a defense is performing. They're like 10th on this list. But if you go to 2022, first on the list. 2021, third on the list. There's DeMeco Ryans. 2020, fifth. 2019, second. So I just wanted to show you the difference between Saleh, DeMeco Ryans made them better, and Steve Wilks in his first year have made them totally worse. They're like middle of the pack now. So what I wanted to say in this video is I'm totally disappointed with Steve Wilks. I was so high on this guy coming into the season. I thought he was a good defensive coach. 49ers have abundance of talent. He would make this defense the most dominant in the league. And he's done the opposite. He's made them soft. They can't get pressure on the quarterback. The defensive line is a bunch of stars, and they can't get pressure on the quarterback. Now, looking at their schedule, Jacksonville, which has been struggling somewhat on offense, so if their defense comes out and performs, I wouldn't get too excited. They got Tampa, who sucks. Seattle's showing his true colors. And they got Philly. Between Philly and Baltimore, that's their 2 tough remaining games. Jacksonville could be tough. I think it's going to be close. But other than that, they should dominate Tampa, Seattle, Arizona, Washington, and the Rams. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on Steve Wilks. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on the defense this week with Chase Young being added. There's not going to be any more excuses for Steve Wilks. They added even more talent to this defense. So let's see how they perform. So let me know what you guys think. Please comment below, like, and subscribe. Thanks. See ya.